FCS parents? Hopefully you guys have had a great week. We've had a great week here at Fairfield Christian School with our Spirit Week. As you can see, I'm in my cat in the hat outfit today. Let's get rid of that for a few minutes. We've had a great time on campus this week, all the kids dressing up. Tomorrow we'll finish up our Spirit Week with Fan Friday. The kids will be wearing their sports gear, the stuff of their favorite teams, that kind of thing. And again, we'll wrap up the week with another great day tomorrow. As you know, we do have Veterans Day off on November 11th. And then coming up in just a few short weeks, we'll have Thanksgiving break as well. We'll have that off. So those are a few holidays, a few days off we've got coming up in the month of November. And I apologize for not having a Thursday Thoughts over the last few weeks. It has been an incredibly busy few weeks here on campus. I fully intended, in fact, I actually shot a Thursday Thoughts last week and I got busy, didn't have the time to upload it. It never ended up getting out. But doing one this week and hopefully it'll get out to you guys real soon. There is something I want to talk to you about, actually a very serious topic, and that is about attendance. Attendance is incredibly important for school. Study after study shows the more consistent a student's attendance, the better chance they have to achieve high academic success. The more they're absent, the more it hinders them from achieving high academic success. Along with that, parents are allowed to write a note to excuse their child, but even in those circumstances, a parent does not have a blanket opportunity to excuse anything. There are only a few things that actually fall under the excused category. So as a parent, you can write an excuse for some very specific things. Those would be if your child is ill for up to 3 days. After 3 days, you need a doctor's note, but up to 3 days, you can write a note excusing your child for absence if they're ill. 2, if they have a doctor's appointment, dentist appointment, optometry appointment, or chiropractic appointment, they can also be excused for those. If your child has to go to a funeral, they can be excused for a funeral. There are some what they call justifiable personal reasons. For example, if a child has to go to court for some reason. If there is a conference or an event the child has to go to, that can be excused, but the California Education Code actually specifically says they have to have that signed off by a principal before they go. That's why we have our prearranged absence forms. There is a student can be excused for jury duty. Hopefully that's not an excuse for any of our students. That shouldn't be. But then there is one more. If a child is the child of an active duty member, and that active duty member is called to duty, then before that parent leaves, during a leave, or once that parent gets back from a combat zone, that child can be excused from school in order to spend time with that parent. Other than that, there's not too much more than a child can be excused for. If a child is going through naturalization proceedings, they can be excused for those as well. So some very obscure things, but really those are the only reasons that a child can have an excused absence. So I know I've been getting notes from parents for sometimes not giving a reason. Actually, you cannot give, if a parent sends a note and says just excuse my child, that actually is an unexcused absence. We cannot excuse that. There must be a reason, and it must fall within one of those categories in order for us to excuse it. Now, there are some other circumstances. For example, let's say the family is going out of town. We always prefer that families do not schedule things during the school year while school is in session. Again, it disrupts the education process when that happens. Sometimes it can't be helped, and I realize things like that happen. In that case, the child must have a prearranged absence form. A week has to be completely filled out and turned in a week before you leave. That way the teachers can make sure they have everything prepared for that student so they can take the work with them. That's why we wanted at least a week ahead of time. And preferably as soon as possible. If the child does not turn in that prearranged absence form, we will not excuse those days that they are absent. By the way, again, according to the Education Code in California, all it takes is 3 unexcused absences in order for a student to be considered truant. If a student is legally considered truant, we can actually turn their names into the district attorney. The district attorney can actually then take action against you as parents. We obviously don't want to do that. We obviously would not do that unless we felt there were some extenuating circumstances, some very serious reasons why we would have to. But we also have to show that we're taking action to make sure that there are not unexcused absences, that there are not tardies. That's why we have our rules in place. In fact, that's why we have some of our strictest rules over attendance. That's why if a student gains too many unexcused absences, they get an automatic Friday detention. Because attendance is important. Consistent attendance is important to a student's academic success. So parents, please make sure your kids get to school. Along with that, get to them to school on time. I also instruct my teachers. I know I've gotten questions about this on both campuses recently. I've instructed teachers to close the gates and the doors at 8:17. School starts at 8:20. That doesn't mean students should arrive at 8:20. School starts at 8:20. And if school is going to start at 8:20, teachers need to get into their classrooms in order to start school at 8:20. So yes, they're going to close gates and doors at 8:17 so they can get to their classrooms. If students arrive after 8:17, after the doors and gates have been closed, they will be admitted to class without a tardy. However, if they arrive after 8:20, they will have to go to the office to get a tardy slip before they would be admitted to class. Again, timely and consistent attendance are incredibly important. Parents, please help us out. Get your kids here to school on time. Along with that, it's very important kids get plenty of sleep at night, at least 8 hours. For all grade levels, at least 8 hours is incredibly important. Your teenagers should not be staying up till 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, as I hear many of them saying they do. It is not conducive to learning. In addition, kids do need to eat breakfast. Your brain functions better when you have energy in your body. Some of these students come to school, they have not had enough sleep, they have not had any breakfast, and you wonder why they struggle in classes. Actually, I don't wonder. I know exactly why, because they've not gotten enough sleep and they've not gotten any nourishment in the morning to give them energy to maintain focus throughout their classes. It's very important. Study after study after study shows consistent findings in these things. Make sure your kids have the best opportunity to learn. Make sure they're here consistently, make sure they're here on time, and make sure that they have prepared themselves with sleep and nourishment to have a successful day at school. All right. I'll step off the soapbox now. Hopefully you guys will have a fantastic weekend. Again, we're wrapping up a great Spirit Week here at Fairfield Christian School. Hope to see you guys real soon. God bless.